Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's Sunday night. So that casting, this casting, this casting, and this casting all have something in common. So we have basically three Johnny Lightning castings and a Kyosho. Although the Bronco, it's a Johnny Lightning tooling, it's being released as Racing Champs. But if you look at the base, definitely a Johnny Lightning tooling. So, anyways, what do these four cars have in common? I got to thinking the other night. Well, basically I was like, I wonder what cars I have from the year I was born. The younger you are, the harder this game is going to be to play with premium diecast. With Hot Wheels, if you're born anywhere in the 90s or early 2000s, should be pretty easy. But if you're born between 75 and 90, this is a hard game to play right here. These are the only four cars I could find in my entire collection that are from the year 1980. So I'm sure I have more somewhere, but I think it's four good castings to have to represent my year of birth. Obviously, the Japan Skyline is probably, I don't know if it's my favorite car out of these four cars, but it's definitely my favorite casting of the four castings. I love this little casting. It's such a unique little look. It's not going to draw all the JDM fanboys, all the Nissan fanboys. The Japan Skyline's not the one that everybody wants. But between this and the Ken Mary, those are my two favorite. So I really like it. Konami did a really nice one as well. So, anyways, I don't know. I don't even know why I thought about that. It just thought popped in my head, and I was like, I wonder what cars I have from the year I was born. So we're gonna crack this open. But to follow up on my last video, got my phone out here. I had a little conversation with somebody who is very well versed. He's the most knowledgeable person that I know in diecast. He knows diecast better than anybody that I know. I promise you. He used to work for Johnny Lightning back in their Playing Mantis days, and he's been involved in diecast for his entire adult life, probably most of his childhood as well. He knows people that work for these large companies, whether it's Mattel or M2. He's just very, very well versed. And after last night, I wanted to get his thought on it because he, if anybody would know, he would definitely know. So I asked him if fake Kyoshos, if it was really a thing, and he responded with like a question mark, like, huh? And so I let him know the situation, that I posted a picture of my LaFerrari and got a comment, and he basically said, haters gonna hate. I actually know what the guy means. A factory in China lost the contract to work with Kyosho. And they continued on for a couple years making a variety of the models. But none of them were made under license. So he's not sure if that particular model was one of the ones, but he doesn't think that it is. And so I asked him, I said, well, then they're still technically Kyosho, right? Because my thinking is, well, if they just lost the contract and they continued to make them, if they were still using the Kyosho tooling, technically it would still be a Kyosho. It just wouldn't be an authorized Kyosho. But his response to that was not necessarily, because they may not be using the Kyosho tooling. So we really don't know. But he said that they were unofficially called Kyosho OEM for a while, and then Colorful Model. And then he said some of the toolings went on to be sold as oversteer models, but not the Mazdas. So the Mazda oversteers are not. But some of the other toolings did make their way to oversteer. So some really interesting information there. And it's from a very reliable source that I have no reason not to believe him. He, like I said, he knows more. He's forgotten more about diecast than I know. He's just one of those people. He's a walking encyclopedia with diecast. As an example, another example, a couple months ago, I got a couple of, I think they were Aoshima. It was like a Nissan Cedric. I ended up trading them. They were really highly detailed. And somebody commented and said, oh, those are nice TLV clones. And I was talking to him about it, and he just laughed. He's like, people just don't have a clue what they're talking about. They're not TLV clones. They have nothing to do with TLV. It's a totally different tooling. It's a totally different company. It is not a TLV clone. So just stuff like that, you know. Because I guess there's a big issue with Tomicas being faked. But I don't think that it's the limited vintage stuff. I think it's more like vintage, like pocket cars and stuff like that. So anyway, so that's where we're at with it. You know, the more I learn about it, the more I'll share about it. But for now, let's crack a nice little die-cast car. So I don't have many of these. I just have a small assortment. And I actually just sent off my Pontiac Catalina, which is probably one of the nicer Ertl American Muscle castings. It's a really nice casting, that Catalina. But they're all really nice. So let's take a look at the 71 Dodge Charger. I love this Mopar green color. So these come with a little plastic base, which I will not, I'll actually just throw it away. They also come with a card, so this I will keep. That'll go into my die-cast trading card collection, which is actually kind of ridiculously big considering they're die-cast trading cards. You know, it's not like baseball cards where you can buy them anywhere. So packaging goes in the trash. Wow, this thing looks fantastic out of the package. I love the color on it. I love Mopar cars of this color. It's like I think it was a color that was pretty much exclusive to Mopar products. And now that I think about it, I've got a really nice GTX. Anyways, so we'll look at the GTX here in a minute, but these cars, they have, these are probably some of the most detailed 1/64 scale cars. Look at the engine detail. in there. Auto World doesn't do them this nice. M2 doesn't do them this nice. Greenlight doesn't do them this nice. And these cars, they came out circa 2000. I've always said that it's my belief that these cars were the inspiration for brands like M2 and Auto World that wanted to do really accurate replicas. So they skipped on the opening doors, which makes me happy. But they do give you the opening hood as well as the opening trunk. I could do without the opening trunk just because sometimes they don't close proper. They do come with rubber tires with tread and very detailed on the base because there's a lot of extra pieces. The gas tank is an extra piece, the exhaust and the drivetrain, the engine, the transmission. These are assembled very similar to how a 1 in 24 or 1 to 24 scale car would be assembled. So, you know, when I first saw this car today, when I took it out of the box, I already have this casting from Ertl, but I have a different deco. And I thought, man, I don't know. I like this, but I think I like my other deco better. But now that this is out of the package, it's really hard to determine. They both are awesome. So this car only came with the side view on the driver's side. You've got tampoed taillight detail. With the license plate. Got the spoiler. I love the black, like the black stripes, the black graphics on the hood. I think the Ertl American Muscle weakness is the wheels. But, you know, this is also 20 years ago. And, you know, stuff has come a long way since then. So, little red line tires. So, but they do have lensed headlight detail. Not all of these American muscle cars have them, but this Dodge Charger does. So here's the other one that I have. This one is really cool because it's got the black vinyl top. It's a really nice color. I don't know if it'll show through on the camera, but it actually is a really nice color. The tires on this one feel like a softer rubber. They grip the road a lot better, whereas on this one they feel more plasticky. But that's okay. That part of it doesn't matter because they're both just going to be displayed anyways. So, man, I really dig it. I like this color. Both of them have the same hood graphic. That is an awesome couple of cars. So this tooling for the 71, I think is the nicest 71 Charger tooling out there. I like it a lot better than the M2. And I like the Greenlight better than the M2, but I like this one better than even the Greenlight. It's a cleaner tooling and it just looks better to me. So anyways, there's that. Here is a I think this car came out about a year ago. It was a Racing Champs release under round 2. And it's a 71 Plymouth GTX, but it has that same Mopar color and treatment. There is a slight difference in the shade, but you also have to remember one of these cars is 20 years old. The other one is only about a year old. By the way, I also have another car that has this same color. I don't have it yet. It's on its way to me. But Auto World did a Dodge Dart Swinger in this color. And I had it, and I think I traded it to Champion DJK. And of all the Auto World cars that I've unloaded to him, there's only 3 that I regret. 2 of them are the Roadrunners, and I don't really regret it. I just I do kind of regret this one though. But this one wasn't a big deal. It was easy to find, and it was cheap. But those Roadrunners are going to be impossible to replace. Or they're either impossible to find or impossible to pay for. So, but anyways, I know Greenlight has also put a couple of cars out with this same color. So it's a really popular Mopar color. And I think this GTX looks pretty awesome. I'm not a big fan of Racing Champs, but that's one casting that I do like, and I really like the color and the deco. So anyways, that's it. That's the video. We got some cars from 1980. This one obviously was wheel swapped. Does not come with those wheels. And then we have this, which came as an extra in a trade box. So if you have any other thoughts on the counterfeit diecast issue, or if you have anything you want to add, feel free to comment below. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm good to go. You learn something new every day, and that was definitely interesting to learn. So anyways, I've got some really cool stuff on the way. Some of it will start arriving tomorrow, and then probably a lot of it's going to be shipping tomorrow. So probably towards the end of the week, I'll be back with some pretty good content, I think. Obviously, one of them is going to be that Dodge Dart Swinger. So we will probably be taking another look at these shortly. So, all right. Well, you all have a good Monday. Don't work too hard. Don't let Monday get you down. Happy hunting. And I will holler at the next video.